tell me a bit about yourself and about the role that you play with Fume?
Yeah, so I'm 22, just turned 22. So my brother and I started Fume originally, then Joe came on, then Braden came on. Yeah, we got into oils, and then it naturally just progressed into us using oils, and then we came up with the idea of Fume with the actual wooden inhaler.
Right.
And then currently what I do at Fume is a lot of logistical things. So kind of oversee accounting, personal relations stuff, and a lot of video and that type of stuff.
What are you making videos for?
Long term we'll do like more commercial stuff and a lot more personal stuff. We like to do more interviews with people as well.
Right.
Currently we're doing a lot more back end stuff, teaching people about essential oils. So we do a lot of videos like benefits of lavender, benefits of peppermint, pros and cons of inhaling, fume versus vaping, like just explaining the difference. So a lot more educational videos right now. Instead of a lot more like, hi, here's our product, it's a lot more like, here's why you should use our product, here's the health benefits versus vaping or other things like that.
Right.
So that's a lot of what we're currently filming, but in the future we'll do a lot more funner stuff.
Funner as in?
Well, just like, I don't know, we have so many like long-term vision stuff, and one realizing it's just like, it's a constant grind of doing logistical things that you have to build your back, we call it building your back end, right? So funner would be for us is like making more of a travel, really cool commercial with some influencers or something like that. But currently it's very formal, educational, which is still fun, but we have a lot bigger projects we'd like to see happen. And we'd also, so we support a orphanage down in Kenya, and we want to do like a big video project explaining what we're doing there and that type of thing, but you gotta do a lot more of this stuff to get there first.
Right. What inspired you to be investing in an orphanage? Why is that important to you?
Well, there's a couple different reasons. So the orphanage itself, I believe Joe and Braden's dad was there, so he actually got us that plug-in to go there. But us four, and me personally too, I really believe in giving back to the community and whatever, not what you're taking necessarily, but like we want to invest into the people working with us, people surrounding us, from our employees to the greater community to the world. We want to do that type of thing. So just figuring out something that we can plug into and help grow and build somewhere else in the world where people are a lot less fortunate than us. And I've gone on certain mission trips as well and seen that stuff firsthand. So I see the blessing and just the level of opportunity we have here versus someone there. So we want to try and even the playing field as much as we can for the size that we are, and that's one way is to help these kids get basic necessities.
Wow, that's really great. That is really cool. So you're saying about you're working right now on the back end of things.
Yeah.
What would a good prospering business with Fume look like? What is your end goal? And I know you did talk about, giving back to the community and investing in your people, but do you have sort of an ultimate goal of this is the ideal way Fume would
or
be
big
operating?
picture, how I'd like it to be. Yeah, like me personally, I would really like it to see it be a big worldwide thing, because just for the health benefits, like there's so many people I know that could be benefiting from the essential oils and stuff like that. So I love to see it be a global thing where we can have tons of other orphanages and organizations too that we can plug in and help and just educate people. One of our mission statements is redefining health. And what that means is, to us, is that health doesn't just have to be a physical body, like some crazy workout athlete guy might be really healthy physically, but is he mentally healthy? Does he have good relationships? How is he, or is he just depressed in his room, but he's super physically fit, right? So for us, we want our mission is to see everyone redefining health alongside us. Yeah, having the whole world having this mindset that health is physical, but relational, spiritual, inside, outside, overall balance. So that's kind of where I like to see the company go, and we're well on our way getting there. I believe we're in like 23 countries, maybe 22 countries.
Wow.
And one of them, we just got an order from Lebanon, so that's pretty cool. We do see that people are catching on to the idea and people are sharing really naturally, because it is something that I think people are becoming aware of. Yeah, so we would like to be some of the leaders explaining that health just isn't being an Instagram fitness guy. It doesn't just have to be over here, but it's having a good balance of community, physical health, all that type of stuff.
And are you doing that through fume, through your product, or are you hoping to expand? Because that's quite a large topic.
I mean, we're trying to do as much as we can. Our idea is to make fume, the like wooden inhaler itself, kind of like an iconic symbol type of a thing. Like, you know, jewel is turned into a verb called juuling. Like, a lot of people use that as a verb. Instead of saying vaping, which what is a jewel, they say it's juuling. So we would like to be known for that. When you're using a fume, it's more of taking a statement of, this is what I stand for. It's like any type of company. When you wear that logo, you're saying, I back what these people are doing, type of thing. And people might not think that, but it's like, you'll see some guys who have a UFC shirt who wouldn't wear a Vans skateboarding t-shirt. There's a reason that they won't buy those two things, because they're two different demographic of people. Where we would like everyone to be going, I'm buying this because it is a statement of what this company stands for and what they're doing in this world. So that's how we're trying to make that little wooden inhaler this actual big picture idea. Because even when you hear like the actual nuts and bolts of people using the oil within their fume, you get tons. Like, we have over 100 testimonies or emails that people have personally written to us just saying, I can't believe how much this helped me. This has helped with this, it has helped with that. And I feel super blessed too that you guys are also taking from my purchase, you're actually putting that towards some kids in an orphanage. And we're working with other organizations too to try and branch out, where if you buy a Quit Naturally pack for someone who's smoking, we donate $2 to a rehab substance abuse center to help other people quit smoking. So we are trying to figure out like how we can do that. That is why we're trying to make this little fume a big picture iconic symbol.
And what are some of the steps that you're doing to make it that? Like, do you have a plan of action? I'm imagining you have some.
Yeah, like we have a lot. Again, we have like so many things, so we're just trying to figure out, okay, what's most important, what do we have to do first, what's going to be the most beneficial. But kind of like our big action plan, I would say, is, like we said, we're building up our back end so that because we do get a lot of purchases, a lot of people sharing, and we haven't actually invested into marketing really. Like we do just enough to keep us relevant, but we don't push it. Like, we just now are trying to go, hey, let's do a little bit more, let's do a little bit into this. But up until this point, it's been mostly word of mouth and a little bit of Instagram, but like, we're still very small in our marketing and all that type of stuff. So our kind of action plan is to build up our back end so that we could handle, in theory, super large amount of orders. And then we'd be more kind of reaching out to key influencers and talkers and motivational people who we feel represent the redefining health movement that we want to do, and then get into their hands and then kind of get them to either join us, walk alongside us, just endorse us from a distance, or join the company completely. And then also working within other companies, like we work with Young Living essential oils because we feel that they do fit their quality, how they run their company. It's very personal. They take care of their employees very well. They sustain everything. I think like their company within the next 5 years will be completely waste free as well. So that's something that we are also striving towards. So that's kind of our action plan right now, just build up our back end so we can do that, but then reach out to people who would be key people and fitting our mission statement and our goals and that type of a thing. So, and then from there, it would kind of snowball and try and get more people to understand our vision clear. And that's another thing we're working on, is our clarity. And that's why we're doing these educational videos, so that if someone comes on and goes, well, what is this? Why would I use this? In order for you to go help, or maybe we should backtrack. So if someone comes onto our website, we want to be very clear why you should be using fume, and then what it means to be using a fume, if that makes sense. So it's like, why should you be using a fume is for your own internal health. Essential oils help with a lot of internal stuff, as well as like external skin issues. There's hundreds of ways to use essential oils that a lot of people have lots of testimonials for. So kind of our reasoning is you have to be first internally healthy before you can go out and help other people as well, right? Because you have to be stable in who you are, or I would say you should be confident in who you are if you're going to go out and give advice to someone else that you want to make sure is sound advice, right? So that's kind of our thought, is start with yourself, make yourself healthier, and then you can help your community. If you're feeling healthy and motivated, you're going to want to naturally share that with other people, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my logic on that and why we're doing it this way, because we could just go and make these videos, but it helps to have something that's like, this actually does something for you physically. You can physically see the change in your body, you can physically see the results, and then that pushes you to also go and share, and it just kind of snowballs, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. And I mean,
clear.
you've already, accessed over 23, 24 countries.
Yeah, something around there.
Something around there, without really pushing any marketing.
Yeah.
So all by word of mouth, essentially, and a little bit of on Instagram, I suppose. And I think that's just really a great example of how the product is selling itself.
Yeah.
In the way. Yeah. Do you have any advice you'd have for anyone who wants to start their own company?
In general?
Just in general? Yeah, just any words of advice.
Yeah, so Fume isn't my first company I ran either. I ran another garbage removal company when I was 16 until Fume kind of took over, and I ended up selling that company. So I'd say the biggest thing with being an entrepreneur is you have to be in it for the long run. And you also should evaluate beforehand why you're doing what you think you want to do. Whatever you're going to do it within your passion and your skill set. So for me, I got into doing junk removal. Technically, the industry is called waste and recycling management. So I had some contracts for some bigger clients and just go by each week and pick up garbage bags. And that was great. But at first it started off when I was 16 just to make extra weekend money. So I was like, I worked with my dad. On the weekend, my brother and I would go haul garbage, and we'd pull in like $300 to $500 in an afternoon, because we would just throw in the garbage in the truck, drive to the dump to the next house. And I was like, oh, I can make way more money doing this than I can just working with my dad at an hourly rate. So that was kind of when I was like, oh, this makes sense. But then as I got super deep into that, I realized like, oh, I don't like picking up garbage all the time. It was fun for you're 16, extra $500 goes a long way. But then now when that's your main source of income and you're just managing everything, you're like, this doesn't bring me happiness. It's just money that's coming in, but I'm doing a lot of things that I don't like doing. It just became like a regular job I didn't like.
Right.
I was like, I actually would like to go work at Starbucks and be a barista more than this, because I would enjoy being around people instead of cleaning up some homeless site that someone just left, and I'm there by myself with two other guys who also don't want to be there cleaning up this really gross site. So what I'm realizing now, and even within Fume, is going, okay, what do I like doing? How can I make that into a business, or how can I find a job that fits what I like doing? You know what I mean? So it's like, going back, I'm a skateboarder and snowboarder, and I've always been into taking photos and videos of my friends who skateboard and snowboard. So now I'm realizing within myself, I'm like, I actually like the process of learning how to edit videos. I like shooting videos. I'm not a big fan of doing just educational videos where there's not much action going on, but it has caused me to grow and understand lighting, how to do editing, audio, where this other type of shooting I've never really had to do. So, but even that, I enjoy the actual learning process of it. So that's where it's starting to even click for me again. I'm going, okay, I like this, I like that. So anyone who's starting something, figure out what you like doing and what you spend your money on when you shouldn't be spending money, if that makes sense. So I think it was Gary V. Look him up, he has really good videos.
Okay, I will.
He says, what do you spend your money on? He's like, it can be, and some of his videos he swears quite a bit, but he's like, yeah, he just says, what do you spend your money on? If it's clothes, why are you spending money on clothes? Well, if you're spending money on camera equipment, why are you spending money on camera equipment? If it's cars, if it's this, and you're like trying to figure out within your broke budget, why are you trying to buy these things that you can't quite afford? Maybe you have some sort of passion in that area. For me, it was camera equipment. I'm always like, I don't really need that, but I think that'd be really cool, and I could probably make this video then. So I'd go buy it and then be broke for a little bit. But I started realizing like, oh, I actually spend my money here, here, and here. And I can justify it because I'm like, I'd rather buy this camera instead of doing this or buying a new pair of pants. But I know other people who they love fashion, they love shopping, and then they're like, they think it's a bad thing, but he would argue and say, just figure out how to turn that into something you can do all the time. Not to be a shopaholic, but maybe you should go into fashion, maybe you should be designing clothes or doing reviews on clothes or making an Instagram about clothes, or like figuring out where you're spending your money helps you really dial in of what you actually do value, because you're willing to spend money that sometimes you don't have on things, right? And that's not good, but figuring out, oh, I'm into cars. I would love to have a nice car, but I can only afford this car. How can I figure out within a car community? Like one of my friends, he's starting to do an automotive vlog. So he goes through and he's building his own kind of show, I don't know what you call it, show car. And he enters into contests now and he wins some awards and stuff like that. But he did that same thing. He was working at Tim Hortons, and then he just started making these videos, and now it's getting to the point I think he has like 20,000 subscribers. And he still does work on the side, but it is growing to the point where if he continues, it eventually can be a full career. So it's just figuring out, I guess my advice is figure out where do you spend your money, why are you spending your money there, and then figure out within that industry how you could do something. Because then you'll be motivated at the end of the day, whether you're making money or not, you're gonna do it anyways, right? It's like, if I'm broke, I still wanna film videos and I still wanna be healthy. So that's why film and shooting videos go hand in hand, because I like doing it regardless. Like when I'm out skateboarding or I'm out in the streets, I actively reach out and like, hey, you should try this oil because you have a cough, and people kind of like, oh, that doesn't happen often that someone's like concerned about my health, but I really do think if you're healthy, you live a happier life. So, and it's that whole type of, so that's kind of my advice.
Right. So find where all your interests sort of meet.
Yeah, kind of like a circle, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a traveling vlogger, but they hate filming and they don't want to edit. Well, you can't really vlog if you don't like video.
Right.
The idea of being a traveling influencer is nice, but if you don't like filming, you don't like editing, you either have to hire someone to do that for you who likes it, or you have to learn it. And maybe if that is what you want to do, but that's why I think a lot of people have these fantasies of what they think they want to do, but then their bank account shows otherwise. And that's kind of what this guy Gary talks about, is saying like, the people who are serious about traveling will penny pinch so that they can go to a new country. Those people actually should pursue something that they can start making money by traveling. Like I have one friend who, she is now in Banff, but she's from Switzerland. I met her in Bali, and she'd been traveling in Australia and all these other different places. But she just works as a waitress wherever she goes. And now she's building up this really high-end book and references of where she's worked, because as she keeps going, she works for better restaurants. So now she's becoming this kind of like high-end waitress that she can almost go anywhere now and say, hey, I've worked at these really nice hotels, and now she can get a job anywhere she wants to go.
Oh, wow.
But then there's the other people who are like, oh, I would like to go travel, but then they go blow all their money on something else. So maybe their priority actually isn't traveling. Does that make sense?
Interesting, yeah. So pretty much your bank account and where you're spending your money is very revealing.
Yeah.
And what your ideas of what you want to be investing your time into might be different than what your bank account shows.
Yeah, and again, you have to give and take with that, because a lot of people, you just gotta hone on your spending too, because sometimes people are just spending left, right, and center. I know I had a problem with that, so I'm like, well, does that mean I like this and I like that? But like my girlfriend, for example, she likes fashion and she likes that type of thing, but she is way quicker to go spend money at a nice restaurant because she loves quality food. Where for me, I'm like, I'd rather go spend money on camera equipment and just eat bare minimum food and kind of just go to Value Village for clothes. Like, I'm like, I can get by, I'll buy a new pair of pants here and there. But then I have one other friend who's like, he drops all his money on clothes, like $700 sweaters. And I'm like, I can't justify that. But then he will never buy a camera in his life because he thinks it's a waste of money, right? So that's kind of what this guy's talking about. Is like, you can really see like, oh, that person likes eating food. Maybe they should do a blog about food, or they should make a video about food, or write a review about food. And then, because they're clearly passionate about it, and they'll keep doing that regardless.
Right.
where I like skateboarding and filming and that type of thing. I've done it over the course of my whole life. I'm going to keep doing it, so maybe if I find something that can pay me money doing that, I'll be way more happy because I'm going to do it regardless, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of probably my kind of linked it out super long, but that's kind of the idea that I'm learning, and it's been really crucial to me to be like, yeah, you shouldn't, maybe an entrepreneur is not your thing, but working for a company where you get to do your dream job is, or maybe an entrepreneur is exactly what you need to be doing. Because I think the other thing, is it okay if I keep ranting?
Go ahead.
One other thing I think with entrepreneurs too that people see is they see like, oh, this guy became a success, but they don't see that like Fume launched a year ago, but we also had probably a year before that of like working full time plus building stuff underground, if you want to call it that. And then we go live and launch our website and everything like that. And then you get some traction, and now it's getting more traction. People are like, wow, you guys are doing so good, but they don't see that there was like countless hours of being like, is this really worth, like, how much do I want to do this? And then you're like, no, I want to do this, right? So I think there's a lot of misconception of people just see, oh, this one guy made millions yesterday, but they don't see that maybe that guy was for 7 years trying and error and working and that type of a thing. And then I think too, the other thing I tell a lot of my friends who ask me stuff is, being an entrepreneur I don't think necessarily means you have to be running your own company, but it's having an entrepreneur mindset, which my kind of definition of what I'm learning with that is what is always learning to grow and shift with your environment. Because I feel like an entrepreneur is someone who wants, if you read the definition of it, it's like someone who is constantly looking for growth and new opportunity. And I think a lot of people just clock into a 9-to-5 job and go, well, that's it, I'm not an entrepreneur. But it doesn't mean you have to go run a massive $1 million corporate company. It might just mean starting to write a blog or trying to find something that you're passionate about, or if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, like this whole time my mind is just like, when did you go from doing it underground to saying, okay, I'm gonna quit my job, I'm gonna invest in this thing full time? Or is that what you're doing, correct? Yeah, so that's kind of, I can become, it's a good and downside. I have a workaholic type attitude sometimes, which stresses out like my girlfriend and family sometimes. Even on vacations, I'll be like, we need to be doing something, because I have a hard time just like letting stuff go. What was happening is I was doing junk removal full time, doing little bits of Fume. Janae was doing more of Fume because he had a little bit more time, so was Joe. And then what kind of ended up happening was my original plan was to run my junk removal company as well as Fume, as well as I'd also do like a network marketing company as well, like on a side hustle type thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do all three of these things all at once. And then kind of what ended up happening was I ended up almost becoming overwhelmed with everything, that I was like, I'm just gonna I ended up going to like a Bible school called YWAM. Oh yeah.
So I ended up going and feeling called to go there for 6 months. I was like, okay, everything just started lining up that I was like, okay, I don't want to do junk removal anymore. I had this thing of like, I had made decent money, I get a taste of what that's like. I actually don't care about that because I don't like working this type of job. I want to be doing something that I enjoy doing, and then figure out how to make good money doing that. So I kind of had this realization of like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was trying to figure it out and put feelers out there like, hey, I'm selling my company. Just contacting other companies, like, do you want to buy my contracts out? Do you want to buy my stuff out? Whatever. Everyone just kept saying no, and then finally someone was like, yeah, no, I think this will work, and that started happening. And it's like, okay, sweet. It kind of like Fume was my backup plan too. Like, it was still going, but I was kind of like, if I quit this, I'm way more into doing Fume. Like, I was already like, I just don't want to do that. It was like a bad job. I just didn't want to do it. So I was like, I just want to get rid of this. It was like a bad, clean girlfriend. I was like, get away. So finally I got rid of that, and then this is right as we actually launched, I left for Australia for 6 months. So it was like, in the moment I was just like, I just need to get away and go get my head straight and just take a break from being super busy, because from pretty much the age of 16, I was running my own thing up until, well, ever since then.
Right.
And it was just so much stress and running all these things and not understanding taxes and simple write-offs and all this type of stuff. So then I left the end of January and came back in August 2nd. And then since then, I've been full-time here again. I did little bits while I was gone, but so that was kind of the transition phases. I like sold the company, left. Well, but while I was selling that the other company, I was still working with Fume. And then as I kind of went to school, I kind of just focused on that mission school for a bit, came back, and just feel a lot better and stoked to be doing this now.